Summertime, summertime. Så du min, og jeg vild med dig. Summertime, summertime. Honey, solen danser, du og jeg. Hver evig eneste morgendag.
Hi there, Aries, and welcome to your modern shaman Maria in RainbowLand, here with the weekly forecast that starts from the 4th of September to the 12th of September 2018. This is your modern shaman with all signs, reports for all signs. So if you're not Aries, you just find the link here for your sign underneath the video. Look where I am. Basically, there's an amazing, awesome fire going on here. I am at the Vassende ashram in Denmark. And it's just an amazing place to be, because the forest and the nature always gives so much to you for free. You get into your contact with your own nature, so you actually get back to yourself. So I'm sitting here up an old tree that gives me amazing and incredible energy. But these are the 7 signs of the week for this week. And what do we have this week? Well, I have chosen to put the 7 signs of the week in the order of when things happen, because actually there are a lot of changes. Several planets are changing signs, getting close to. So sign number 1 of this week is Mercury going home. Aries, it's going home to its home sign, Virgo, one of the 2 home signs. The other home sign is Gemini. And Virgo, here in Virgo, it's very practical, analytical, goes into the details for things, and it goes in there on the 6th of September. And of course, always when a planet is out of entering a new sign, it passes the critical degrees of the former sign, which was in Leo, 29th degree, point whatever, until the 1st degree of the next sign is critical. It's like a birth. You have to go through the canal and out on the other side into the new room, being Virgo. 2 very different signs. So in Leo, for the Aries, we've been very creative and in our communication. We have been communicated what came straight from our hearts, and if we are romantic already, we have been able to, express ourselves romantically, etc. But also, it was in a shadow phase that it went out of last week. Can you feel that the communication is going better? I mean, even though it was still the same issues that you already went through once, then communication started happening. Things were gliding, the thing is that this is actually it's the last planet for now leaving Leo, only with the north node of the moon being back there in Leo now. And that is a little funny, because we've had so much focus upon Leo for a while, on our 5th house with children. Do you want to get children, or what about your own children, or creativity, creative projects, moving forward, following your heart? What is it that I can express in the world that no one else can? But the North Node is the only one still here when Mercury leaves. And just a short mention of that, you remember my motto, don't follow trends, follow your heart? That is the motto of Leo, and also the North Node here. The North Node is for 1.5 years in each sign, and it started going in here, the true node on the 9th of May 2017. So when we reach November, it's going to go out, and it won't be here again for another 18 years. So we have to take advantage of this, and Leo is creation of life, especially for Aries, because it falls in the 5th house that is ruled by Leo, and it is in Leo. So we have to learn to dare to follow our hearts and stand out. That is what's often blocking us from releasing our inner Leo. And it's about creating who you are. That is one of the things you manifest in this life that goes on after you die. It's what you create. That is the legacy you also leave behind. So it's very important to find your creation and leave it here for others. But anyways, Mercury goes into Virgo, where it's at home. So it's gonna scrutinize and go deep into analyzing things, organizing things, getting things done, practical things done, serving your body, hopefully. You know, we have to take advantage of whenever planets are in different signs, they have strengths there that just does so that if we, that's why these reports are important, because you also always check the weather report before you go into the forest. So you know if you should bring a raincoat. But with astrology, as big leaders also use astrology, and this I have from a source being very, very close and very dear to me, who works with big leaders. Someone I love very much, let's just say it like that, they use astrology for planning. So in this regard, what I want to say is that you can also plan better how to take advantage of the energies that are there. Because especially now we also have this, we have Mercury in Virgo and the Sun is already in Virgo. So, and we're going to have a new moon, but I'll go on with that in Virgo. So it's time to get good diet, Aries, healthy routines so that you exercise, you get enough sleep, you meditate, clear your mind, you organize, you heal yourself, you get good healthy routines with your work and with your colleagues, and you serve other people here in this sign. And what I mean by using astrology is that when we have a lot of planets in a sign, it's like opening doors. The universe is opening doors that are so easily to pass through and take advantage of the energy. You have wind in the sails or wind in the back as we're biking down the street. It's always easier with wind at our back. If we wait and postpone what's on the schedule now, astrology being the schedule, then what will happen? It will be much harder because that's not what's on the schedule in 2 months, you know? So it's about taking advantage of that. So that was sign number 1 of the week. On the 6th, Mercury goes into its home sign, Mercury, where it just feels like, and communication goes much more smoothly. Second sign of the week is the next planet doing something radical and very beneficial. It's Saturn moving forward. Saturn is a slow-moving planet. On the 7th, it moves forward in Capricorn between 2 and 3 degrees. And the thing about Saturn is that it's been slowing down, slowing down, slowing down. And then it stops and starts moving forward. But it's not like this. It's going to move forward like so small steps. So even though it's not moving fast, and it's moving backwards 1/3 of the year, every year, more or less, you know. So it's been a long period, and it's going to be nice because we will definitely have felt that certain projects, business projects, that have something to do with our career, our reputation, our destiny, what we want to present to the world, has been stalled. And we haven't been able to express ourselves fully or organize or get moving forward with things concerning this matter, this subject. But with Saturn starting to move forward, we can feel, okay, now it starts and we also have Mercury out of its shadow, you know. Saturn still is in its shadow, so of course it's also going over stuff that you already started concerning Saturn, and Saturn wants to organize. Also, you know, he's friends with Virgo and Mercury going into Virgo. And Mercury in Virgo will also be forming or reawakening this grand trine in Earth between Uranus, Saturn and Mercury. And this means that it's again a good energy to get things manifested that you have wanted for so long in your daily life, in your work life, your routines, but also something that can generate some money for you. Hopefully, right? Okay. So, then we have sign number 3 of this week. And that is also on the 7th. We are having Venus moving into, oh, is it on the 7th? Just a second. Let me be absolutely sure about the date. No, it's on the 9th. Venus is also changing signs. But other things are going on as well with Venus. before that. Isn't it just nice with this fire? Oh, can you hear it? You can't see it, but I'll show it later on in the video. I will show images of the fire. So this is very, very important. Other things are going on with Venus, but Venus is our sign number 3 of this week. First of all, she's changing signs on the 9th. She goes into Scorpio. But the most important thing I want to say about Venus this week is that she's in her shadow phase. She went in there last week. And this means, as I told you many times before, a planet moves forward, then it moves retrograde, then it moves forward. It has a passage. It goes over 3 times. She is going direct into the zone now. She is in here. So these themes that comes up now during this period in your relationships, in regards to other people, it can be business relationships, be private relationships, any type of relation you have with other people, any issue is an issue that you gonna have to dig deep into, because Venus is going into Scorpio, the sign of depth and the sign of the shadows we have. And this is a chance for us to move ourselves in our relationships. Venus will dig up things from our past, patterns that we need to let go of and we need to work with. And as it goes through this zone, you will feel that something comes up that maybe isn't so pleasant for you, but if you accept it and you take responsibility for it, instead of letting others in your surroundings be responsible for some behavior of yours. Of course, you also have to set limits, perhaps, because other people may be overstepping your limits, but make sure that you are not overstepping theirs. Try to figure out what it is that you do that is out of balance, that needs to be fixed, and what is also something old that someone else did to you in the past, because it's old stuff in Scorpio, so that you can clean it out. Use different kinds of techniques. There's the cleaning method I often talk about from Heartfulness, where you clean out, Heartfulness meditation, where you clean out any complexity in your system through imagining every evening it leave your system through your back of your spine, through a black smoke that just leaves, without focusing upon what it is or what it isn't, but just asking your system, your intelligent body, our systems are so intelligent, to make sure that it leaves. So Venus is at the critical end degrees of Libra, actually where my ascendant is. And it's gonna go into these degrees where it's gonna demand you to be in harmony with your relationships and stay and make sure that this harmony is there, even though it may be challenged. And in this process, it's gonna square Mars. And that's why it's extra challenging, because Venus is gonna square her partner, Mars, up there. And Mars is our planet. So our planet Mars, in Capricorn, wants to move forward, but he's also in the critical degrees, and he's not that fast out of Capricorn. And actually this is gonna be something I'm gonna talk about next time, but I will just shortly say that here we can be demanding. As Aries, we can be the ones who wants to be in control and create the structures and make things happen for us in our work life, but make sure that you don't rip someone else's head off in the process. Be kind to others, because Venus is our relationships and Mars is the little warrior. So try to find a harmony, even though you know that there is a tension between you and someone else, or maybe more than one other person. Then we have Venus going into Scorpio. And here in Scorpio, Jupiter also is, but he's further into Scorpio, so they're just saying hi on a distance. That's fine. And Scorpio is our 8th house of shared resources, deep connection with our partners. facing our fears and transforming. It's death and rebirth, not just physical death, but also death of something inside of us that needs to be transformed. And Venus here is actually in the opposite sign of her other home sign, Taurus. So she's far away from her home, even though she's close to where she's also at home, was at home in Libra. So she feels a little under pressure here. So be prepared for that. But she can also benefit you in a great way financially. But maybe she has to take her time, because she's gonna go backwards over the zone again. So don't expect things to happen just like that. Give it time. Here in Scorpio, she's gonna form a sextile to Saturn up there. So she's friends with Saturn up there in Capricorn. So she will benefit you and activate the grand trine between Saturn and Uranus in Taurus. So financially, good things are going on for you, and also for your reputation in the career house. So that was sign number 3 of the week. Should we just see what's going on here with the fire? Hello, hello. Wow, look at this. I love this. Beautiful. So, sign number, what was it? We had Mercury 1, sign number 1. Sign number 2 was Saturn. Sign number 3 is Venus. So, sign number 4 is the Moon. This week, the Moon is gonna start out in Cancer, and as I told you last week, it's for 2 days and something in a sign. And our weeks goes from they go from the 4th to the 12th, to the Tuesday the 4th to Wednesday the 12th. And the Moon is starting in Cancer in opposition to Saturn. That's going to make us a little vulnerable and emotional, and feel like someone is being a little too harsh on us. Perhaps could be. It's going to move through and also be in opposition to Pluto, which again is going to bring some kind of feeling of transformation in your career house, but not really leaving you to have the peace you want at home, with your own feelings, your family. Your inner child is not really getting a break because you need to work. Then it's going to go into Leo, where you find yourself with your creative expressions and playfulness and romantic flirting with your partner. And it's going to meet the north node of the Moon, of course, at the beginning of Leo. So you feel like the north node of the Moon is the collective purpose for humanity. So you feel again this urge to follow your heart, hopefully, and hopefully you'll do it. Then it goes into Virgo. We'll meet up with the Sun. And first we'll see Mercury and start, igniting the grand trine in Earth again, that I talked about before, between your money house and your career house and your work house. And then it's going to meet up with the Sun. And when the Sun meets the Moon, it's a dark moon phase. Oh, as a new moon, I mean. But before that, always 2 days before the new moon, and the new moon is on the 9th. So from the 7th to the 9th, our energy will be low, because when the moon is full, we have a lot of light, a lot of energy from the sun to the moon, so reflected, more energy. And when it's new, it comes closer and closer, and it's reflecting less and less. So the last 2 days before a new moon, we are often projecting our own feelings to others, because we get low on energy, get in contact with the lower vibrations of our body, which are often the heavier things we didn't let go of, and also the last part of a cycle, a moon cycle that ends. So we have to finish up some things, and we are tired. We've been having 28 days of whatever happened throughout your moon cycle. And this moon cycle was actually since the last of the eclipses, you know, in Leo. So be careful from the 7th to the 9th, and again from the 9th to the 11th. So from the 7th to the 11th, 7-11, your energy is more low. And be careful not to project your feelings and be too emotional and lunatic on other people. The new moon in Virgo is, as I told you, in the first sign of the week, and a chance to ignite and begin starting a new, nice routine, health-wise, work-wise, day-to-day, routine-wise, food-wise, what you eat, sleep-wise, what you do for yourself. And also it has something to do with your colleagues, because this, what you start now in a new moon, in half a year there will be a full moon in the same sign of Virgo. So when we reach March, you will see the result of what you started now. If you didn't put any work into it, there won't be any results. But if you put some work into it, do something about it, you will see the results in March. So I encourage you to do something about it. You'll benefit from it. Then we have, that was the moon, right? So then we have the 5th sign of the week. And the 5th sign of the week is actually what I already mentioned, Mars. It's a little hard to keep them away from each other because they act together, because it's our planet and it's very important. It's in the 10th house and it's at home. It's in exaltation here. So it has extra energy and force, but it's in the critical degrees, as I mentioned before. So you have to be able to do your work to the detail and be very realistic about it. There's no shortcuts here. It's in the same house as, in the same sign, meaning in the same room. I call the signs the room, as Pluto and Saturn. So they are very demanding to us, our planet, and saying you have to do it right. And with the square to Venus, then there may be something in your relationships demanding your time, demanding you to listen, demanding you to be more in harmony with other people, that may do so that you feel that you cannot move forward at the pace that you want, but be patient. Mars is going to be out of this zone on the 11th, where it changes signs into Aquarius. And here in Aquarius, he is going to be in the same room, sign room, with Black Moon Lilith and the south node of the moon. What a combination. So, sign number 6 of this week is Jupiter. A lot is going on with Jupiter. Jupiter is in Scorpio, as we know, and Jupiter is, if not Santa Claus, then our optimism, our expansion of our minds. It's our belief systems having a new light upon them. And in Scorpio, and he of course also shows us the truth. So that's why it's not always this feeling of Santa Claus when it's something to do with Jupiter. But Jupiter here is showing us that we have the opportunity to transform on a very deep level. And Jupiter this week is going to be in a sextile with Pluto, which is the ruler of Scorpio. So, and it's in our 10th house. So sextile with Pluto. I'm sitting here with this, but I'm not sure if you can see it. Here we have Capricorn and Pluto. And you have Jupiter over here. So there's a sextile. They are waking up. They're alive here in the horoscope. And there's a grand trine at the same time. So we have Neptune activated in Pisces, Pluto in Capricorn, and Jupiter in Scorpio. And these two signs of Scorpio and Pisces are very spiritual and deeply transformative signs, where you really get into contact with the greater good, with God, Creator, all there is, no limits. To do this through deep transformation of yourself and your bad sides of your soul. Because you have to let go of the need to control here, and since it's working well with Pluto in the sign of one of the signs of being in control, Capricorn, since it's in a good constellation, then Pluto will help us transform the sides of our career, our face in the world that is blocking us from actually really being in contact with all there is. Because when we are in contact with all there is, our ability to manifest the right things and the flow is incredible and so much better. And what I want to say also is, I never really think about it because I don't use any substances. That's why I call myself a modern shaman. I'm not judging people who do. I just want to remind you of something. Of course, in my teens I tried not everything, but many things. And I tried it, some things once or twice, some things 10 times. And then I knew what it was, and I knew this was not the right path. I immediately heard a voice saying, no, you don't use any drugs, any substances, if you want to evolve on a soul level. I'm not saying if you take medicine and you're forced to. You have my blessing of, not that you need it, but you know, I'm not judging it, that's what I'm saying. I'm just saying you have to know that any substance is a shortcut and just a temporary condition. The only way to go, expand your mind, what Neptune wants in Pisces, Jupiter wants in Scorpio, and what they want with Pluto up there, so that we can do it on a level, cultural level, global level, is that you do it step by step, responsibly. You expand your mind through working with yourself, not by going on a trip. If you want the condition to stay, you need to do your meditation, you need to do your cleaning every night of the mind, because the thoughts and the mind eat you and take you away from your purpose and from your centered condition in your body. Sign number 7 of the week is the card of the week, along with this little message. Crisis is your friend. You have to know that any crisis you're in, or have been in, has been the possibility for you to open a door that will take you higher on the essential level of your spiritual journey. So don't be afraid of crisis. Know that they are a blessing on the other side. Sign number 7, the card of the week. I'll do with voice over so you can also see where I am and enjoy this place. Oh, a tree is falling. So they just, whoa. That was well done. Impressed. You felt the wind? My goodness, so this was a really, really good point was made.
Wait with the store. Yeah.
Andrea, if you are a little bit on my film on YouTube, it's the different star signs, is it okay?
It's okay.
Okay, awesome. Yes, I have a channel. Awesome, awesome. You are in the Taurus sign of the week. We are up here from Italy. He managed to take down a tree by his hands. While we were doing the report, you tilted it here, John is cutting it over here because he wants to start the fire. So Aries, for you it is the 9 of Wands, and as you can see, the 9 of Wands is standing there with his wand, and he's kind of like prepared for another fight because another bunch of wands are in the background, and he's kind of a little bit wounded, you know. He has a bandage around his head, and he's kind of like looking a little unsafe and suspicious, you know. So this card, because it's the wands, symbolizes energy, which is actually restrained because you don't know how to use it in a positive or constructive way. So it symbolizes situations where the feeling of having some kind of conflict has taken over. But you have strength, even though you don't know it, or even though you're in some kind of a conflict, or the world is kind of against you. So this is implying that you have to be conscious about your hidden or conscious reserve of strength, and you are prepared to meet the challenges on your way. You have been fighting before, as this card says, and you're ready again if the situations demanded it from you, because you have endless power, courage, etc. to see them through. So this is a strength card, and it indicates that your conscious and unconscious forces or powers are ready to help you. But you have to use your determination to be able to meet those challenges ahead. As the unconscious is getting to be conscious, there can also be some kind of angst or anxiety to relive unfinished situations once again. And that has something to do definitely with the Uranus-Mars square once again. Some kind of strength can suddenly arise since you experience the start of an inner strength, unconscious strength suddenly coming to life. So get that energy you have and unused possibilities or blocks to overcome this fear of old situations coming to life again by focusing on the positive, focusing upon that you can do this. So thank you so much for watching this week. I truly appreciate it. And remember, if you haven't subscribed already, that you can do so. And you can always leave any kind of comments here. I hope you enjoyed the beautiful nature images here. Big hugs from your modern shaman. See you next week. And of course, and by the way, you have to remember this. Don't follow trends. Follow your heart. Yeah.
Summertime, summertime. Så du min, og jeg vild med dig. Summer,